10 designer items that you should never buy, part 1. Footwear edition. Some of you ladies are going to hate me, but it's the Kate Louboutin pumps that cost 645 euros. Firstly, I don't know a woman alive on this earth that can actually walk in these heels for more than 5 hours. The brand has actually said that these shoes are not designed to be comfortable. Functionality is zero, so it's kind of genius that this designer brand has gotten so many women across the world to buy shoes that they cannot even walk in for this price. Can we talk about the Balenciaga women Crocs that cost 495 euros? Firstly, cost per wear, zero, because where are you going to wear these shoes to? The next one is the Hermes sandals. I've heard so many horror stories and I just can't justify buying a pair of sandals for 510 euros. I have said this so many times that the markup on certain products like this is insane. So that means the cost of making this is probably 10% of what they're actually charging. Part 2, luggage edition. I will never understand why people pay thousands for designer luggage. It's genuinely not worth it unless you're a multi-millionaire that's going to be traveling on a private jet where you know the airline's not going to damage your suitcase, then go ahead. But if you're not, then why are you buying a suitcase that costs almost 3,000 euros? You know that you might be checking in. It's probably not going to look the same once you get it at baggage collection. What's the point? So Prada is really out here trying to get us to buy this suitcase for almost 3,000 euros and it's re-nylon and some leather. Buy. The suit that you're putting into this better cost more than this because this is insane. Always defer to buy good quality luggage such as Tumi, Rimowa, Tripcase, etc. that don't cost as much as these designer brands and that have really good warranties, some of them even 5 years. Part 3. Jewelry edition. Let's talk about the fact that Louis Vuitton, Fendi, Gucci are literally selling earrings like this for 280 euros upwards. Let's also understand that these are not real gold. These are gold plated and some of them are actually made out of bronze. So I will never understand why people spend crazy amounts of money on earrings like this. You're genuinely better off buying real gold from the likes of Tiffany & Co that actually specialize in jewelry, or going to Swarovski, or going here if you can afford it. Costume jewelry. This is not made of any precious metals. It is literally made out of either brass, copper, aluminium, or just metal with a gold color finish. Now that you know this, make sure you share this with everyone, but more importantly, come back for part 4 of designer items that you should never buy. Probably really should add a tag unless you're a millionaire or billionaire. Part 4 of 10 designer items that you should never buy. Sunglasses edition. My opinion, buying designer sunglasses is an absolute scam. I've talked about this so much. Did you know that 80% of designer sunglasses that are made worldwide is owned by one company? That company is Luxottica. Even on the first page of their website, it says, we are a market leader in the design, manufacture and distribution of fashion, luxury, sports and performance eyewear. They make designer sunglasses for all of these brands, guys. Armani, Gucci, Coach, you name it, they make it. The markup on designer sunglasses is through the roof. When I talk about it's thousands of percent, guys, trust me. Some of these companies, it cost them $15 to make this sunglass that they're charging you 315 euros for. You're actually better off buying fake. I literally can't tell the difference between these sunglasses that cost 350 euros and a pair of sunglasses that are fake that probably cost 10 euros. The most important thing here is making sure that these sunglasses actually are going to be protected for your eyes. That is the key here. The whole logo thing does not matter. Accessories edition. I honestly feel like screaming when I see people buy designer phone cases. Firstly, we all know that most of us change our phones every 3 to 4 years. So are you going to buy a new designer phone case that costs 300, 400 euros? Why? This is literally the biggest waste of money. This is not even considered an investment. I personally love a good scarf. It really adds an air of elegance. But what I don't love is paying for a scarf that's 420 euros unless it is cashmere. This looks fabulous, but it's 450 euros. It's not 100% silk, it's 60% silk, 40% wool, and you have to dry clean it. So you're buying a scarf or a shawl that you now have an additional expense every single time you want to use it because you can't just throw it into your washing machine. Hard cases, key cases is always going to be a no. For designer socks, I have 4 words. Just don't do it. Designer bag edition. Y'all are gonna hate me, but why? I don't understand this whole Jacquemus bag trend, especially this really small ones that cost anywhere between 300 to 500 plus euros. For me, the functionality is a 3 out of 10 because really, what am I putting in this bag? When I think about cost per wear and cost per utility, I don't know how often you would actually utilize this bag. This is another bag trend that's going to come and go. If you're one of those people who always succumb to trends like this, your pockets are going to be hurt in the long term. It's a beautiful example because this bag was such a trend a couple of years ago. So many people bought this bag, but now it's probably collecting dust in your wardrobe. I genuinely am a fan of designer bags like this that are timeless. Don't follow designer bag trends. Buy bags that you genuinely like and have good cost per utility that you're actually going to use, and more importantly, are functional. Perfume edition. Let's talk about designer perfumes. I say this as someone who has bought designer perfumes before 320 years. And I don't know that it's necessarily better than buying your standard drugstore, which could be 100 or 60 euros. Designer perfumes like this and standard perfumes all typically have an expiry date, which could be 1 to 5 years or 10 years. Don't buy designer perfume thinking that it's necessarily going to be better. Most of us like to switch up our scents quite often, and the cost of having a myriad of different designer perfumes within your collection is extremely high. Perfumes like this are just as good as your designer perfumes. Remember, there are also so many sites that actually do dupes for your favorite designer perfumes. So you can get some dupes for literally 5 years, 10 years, rather than paying 100 or 300 euros. Some people are actually out here having their perfume collection weighing more than their actual investments. Don't let that be you. Home decor edition. It's so important that your home smells scrumdiddlyumptious. And I recently found out that Dior actually do candles, but for 120 euros. We are not doing this. This is another example that you do not need a designer candle for your home. Gucci is doing this for 390 euros. Honestly, when that candle is burning in my house, it literally needs to be making money in the process of doing that, because you are way better off going to the likes of Ritual that has amazing candles for your home, but for a fraction of the price. Now, we love a good cutlery set, plate set, etc. But Villeroy & Boch, £1,000? Essentially, the cutlery you're using costs more than the food that you're actually eating. Cool. It's totally important to invest in a good quality set, but you don't need to break the bank in the process of doing so. Makeup edition. As my makeup artist best friend would say, the tools that you use for application are essential. But this Hermes brush for 132 euros is a hell no. I actually almost had a heart attack at the idea that I would be paying 130 euros just for one brush. You guys know that MAC and Fenty have been serving us the best products when it comes to powder and bronzers for reasonable prices. But Gucci, 12 gram, 53 euros. Buy. Designer or not, they all have expiry dates, so the cost of replenishing a designer makeup set is not worth it, guys, and it's gonna hurt your bank account. Drugstore is still king. Skincare edition. The most luxurious skincare brands out there that can even be seen as designer is La Mer. Like the set, it's costing 400 plus euros, and a lot of people will go out here and buy these designer or luxurious skincare products thinking it's gonna cure their skin. And guys, that is not necessarily the case. People out there who are using La Mer, and my skin is probably better than them, and I use Fresh and Nivea. Skincare is so personal, so before you go out there trying to buy a designer skincare brand thinking it's going to change your skin, just go to your dermatologist. They can tell you what's going on with your skin and recommend the best brands. Luxury body lotion. I generally don't think we need this. Nivea remains undefeated. This is the bomb.com. My favorite brands that I rant and rave about is Fresh, and my skin, guys, has never been the same. In my opinion, this is definitely a more affordable alternative to the likes of La Mer, and even Gucci has skincare lines as well that are just so expensive. Skincare products also have expiry dates, so when you look at buying designer skincare products, the cost of maintaining this skincare routine is going to be astronomical in comparison to drugstore. Thank you so much for tuning in to this 10-part series, and watch out for more series coming.